What's up, guys? I'm the True Gooner, and I am reacting to the match between Arsenal and West Ham. And if you guys don't know already, and you don't feel like want to know, pause the video now. And if you've recorded it or waiting for Match of the Day 2, then don't watch this video. Actually, the title will be the result. So, just if you look at the video, then you'll know the result anyway. But it was a game where that proved a few things. One, it 100% proved that just because you have a good pre-season, like I said in my prediction video, does not mean you will do well straight away. Secondly, it proves also once again that Arsenal need that world-class striker. Now, you probably would be expecting me to be a bit more angry. I was a little bit pissed off earlier. But it's been a few hours, I've lightened up a bit. I thought about a little bit of the positives, if any, out of this game. Basically, let me just put right to the chase. West Ham beat Arsenal by 2-0 at the Emirates in Arsenal's first game, and obviously West Ham's first game. And just before I say about all the negatives about Arsenal, let me just say that one major thing is credit to West Ham. West Ham, that Bilic, West Ham's new manager, he did his homework. He literally did everything right in that game. West Ham did everything right. They had a 16-year-old centre defensive midfielder who played brilliantly, had Ozil in his back pocket, but now I can keep on praising West Ham. Now let's pick up the negatives here. First of all, let me just react to this game properly. First, from the first whistle to the last, I was kind of nervous. Especially because West Ham, as much as they didn't have the most shots, they had the same amount on target, I think, in the end. West Ham just looked in control. They were confident on the ball. They were consistent. Arsenal were doing missed passes all over the shop. I was thinking, please, just get this, either nick a goal before half-time, or just keep it at 0-0, and Wenger better just, excuse my French, then you just better sort them out in the changing room and get us out all guns blazing in the second half. First of all, actually, let me just go into the team selection. Giroud started, along with Chamberlain, and I believe it was Cazorla on the other wing. It was either Ozil, Cazorla, Ramsey, I don't know which way it was. But Giroud started, Chamberlain started, who was arguably our best player in this game. With an absolute, and I do criticise Wenger on one thing, and that is, why not start Theo? He was the one that played in Chamberlain last week, albeit in a friendly Community Shield, which it is. It's a friendly. For anyone who might be saying, oh, Ryan, you just said this, you said that. I never said anything. Ask anyone, I was the one that said the Community Shield would mean nothing. As much as it was a great day out for my birthday, and I thank my dad very much, it was a great day. But in terms of the result, that result doesn't matter to me now. The result don't matter, because that game only would have counted properly for me if we won against West Ham, because the West Ham game was more important than the Chelsea game, because the Community Shield is just a Community Shield. It's the start of the Premier League, and we played this game like it wasn't as important as the Community Shield. Okay, it was Chelsea, the Premier League champions, but, I mean, this is the difference between Arsenal and Chelsea, right? Before I get into this, let me just tell you the difference between Arsenal and Chelsea. Chelsea, one, just to state the obvious, Chelsea are champions. And what puts Arsenal behind them and tells me that we don't have what it takes to finish above them, or not to finish above them, to win the title. Chelsea are champions, right? And they were completely outplayed by Swansea yesterday. I'll go into my Premier League review of all the games in a couple of days' time. But just getting into the Chelsea game, right? In the Chelsea game, they were dominated. They had Courtois sent off, but they still drew 2-2. They held on. Okay, they didn't hold on. They held on by the scruff of the neck, yeah. Swansea maybe should have won that game. Not about luck. That's what champions do. Whether they deserve to win, lose, or draw, they scrap it out, and they at least get as many points as they can. Chelsea, that point, we don't know. That point that they got yesterday could be vital to their season. They could win the title by a point, and they could look back to that point against Swansea in the very first game. We don't know. That's how football works. Arsenal, on the other hand, played terrible. Okay, West Ham, they had their moments, but Arsenal just was not at it today. We just we just wasn't there. And I never thought I'd say this. Debuchy, I'm not criticising him. He's a great right back, right? But he was a bit rusty. He was 100% rusty, and I never thought I'd say a 19-year-old or 18. I can't remember how old he is. Hector Bellerin. We missed him today because last week, friendly or not, he had Hazard in his back pocket last week. Hazard went missing thanks to Bellerin last week. He was outstanding. Okay, Wenger says he might only be out till this. He'll be back for next week. But I don't know what this injury is about. It was completely out of the blue, like Wilshere last week, and all of a sudden he's out for a month. But so yeah, Bellerin was there. It might have been a different game, but let's just analyse this, right? First of all, we started a bit poorly, but then West Ham was not hardly the best either, but they were still keeping the ball. And you just see long-range passes that were just going completely wrong from the likes of Coquelin, Cazorla, Ozil. They just weren't mispassing. Giroud was once again running down the wing to cross it when in hindsight, which is not always his fault. I don't blame him for this because it should always be Ozil or not Chamberlain because it was on the wrong wing. But Cazorla, Ramsey, they should be delivering to Giroud in the box. And because no one else is there, Giroud has to do that work. But in a way, it's still Giroud's fault because it's almost like they know Giroud will do that. But, just, first of all, the first major chance of the game, Chamberlain just ran from his own half, ran all the way down the wing, and then crossed it in, went past Giroud, went to Cazorla on the edge of the other side of the penalty box, and it's almost an attempt to lob the keeper, hit the top of the net, and that was the first major chance of the game. And then, I think, yeah, it was Ramsey running, mistake by the defence of West Ham, which was not many times that happened in this game. And it was a ambitious shot, to say the least, that got deflected, and the keeper still managed to get a hand onto it, and it went out for a corner. But then, and with a couple minutes just before half-time, Payet took had a free kick, and also, let me just say, West Ham have a player on their hands. I already knew Payet could play. I've never seen him play properly. I've just heard about him. But West Ham, how they managed to get this guy, I do not know. He was doing tricks. He played brilliant for West Ham. He probably played us off the park, Dimitri Payet. And in fact, it's just showing. Yeah, it's literally. And what actually happened is, I mean, I don't know whether to play Czech or not. You know, I've just literally just seen it right now on the TV again, and then the second goal there. But literally, what happened was it was a free kick, and he crossed it. It wasn't just outside the box. It was around the halfway point, maybe 10 yards from the halfway line. Crossed it, and our defensive line was so high. You'd expect the defensive line to be deep. It was high, and it almost just caught. And Monreal was caught ball watching. Koscielny was caught ball watching. Coyote had a free header and it went in, but it wasn't just that. Czech ran out, attempted to punch the ball. Who does that sound like? I'm not even going to say. Tempted to punch the ball, completely missed it, and Coyote, it would just ended up being an open goal in the end. Coyote headed it in the back of the net at the same time Czech attempted to do that. So that was a mistake on Czech's behalf, but then in my defence, in their defence, Czech must have panicked because he thought, hang on a minute, Monreal and Koscielny, they've just left him. He's just been left for dead. And he'd usually be all calm and collected, because he'd probably either be Terry Cahill or Azpilicueta or Ivanovic heading it out for him. So what do you expect? It's different. Czech should have done better. But I mean, every goalkeeper makes mistakes. We all know that. I mean, I'm one of the own Arsenal fans that was on Szczesny's side for a long time, up until that Southampton game last season. I was on his side. I was like, he's still young. He's a goalkeeper. Every keeper makes mistakes. Look at De Gea. He had mistakes at United, and now he's just doing wonders. Okay, we don't know where his future lies now, but he was still their player of the year for the last 2 years. And before that, Fergie kept faith in him. Moyes, well, let's not even talk about Moyes. Fergie kept his faith in him, and now look at him. He's one of the best keepers in the world. But Czech, it's only his first game. I'm not too worried, if I'm honest with you. But again, let's get into the second goal. First of all, we were on the attack. Adrian made some top quality saves. I'll give him that. And the defence of Ogbonna Reid, I knew that would be solid, and it did end up being solid today. Obviously, they didn't have Jenkinson to play because He's on loan at from Arsenal, so they couldn't play him. So what ended up happening was the defence was solid for them, a few clearances and all that, but we had a few chances just before they scored their second goal in the second half. I expected us to play properly in the second half. West Ham still outplayed us, I think, in that second half. We had our chances and all the rest of it. West Ham, we just couldn't, and then West Ham were on the attack. Mertesacker and Oxlade-Chamberlain, they both couldn't clear the fucking ball. So what ended up happening? Sorate, from out of nowhere, outside the box, hit it. Cech was off his line. There's nothing he could have done about it. Well, there is. He could have been on his line and died for it and saved it. But, I mean, in his defence again, I still blame the defence. I blame Cech partly, obviously, for his mistake. But the defence the keeper should not have even needed to dive or needed to even make a save, because the shot should not have even come in the first place. Because the defence, Mertesacker-Chamberlain, he's not a defender, but he was there, should have just booted it out of play, and then that would have led Walcott to come on, because when he was about to come on, and then when it was coming to the West Ham kickoff, we brought on Walcott for Coquelin. And I thought, why? Because we're going to go all-out attack, and first of all, also, this game had Arsenal-Monaco from last season written all over it, because just before the game, a few pundits hyping us up to win the title, which I can't remember the last time. I don't think I've ever heard that since the Invincible years, that we were afraid, some pundits were like, they can challenge this year, they can challenge. And the way they're hyping up the game, I'm thinking they're going to jinx us. They just are going to jinx us. And it's pathetic. I don't blame pundits and stuff, but it was the Arsenal-Monaco game. Everyone just laughing. Oh, haha, Arsenal, they've got this. What happened? Oh, they lost 3-1 to Monaco. Oh, that's awkward. Exactly. So, in terms of that, it had Monaco written all over it. No one expected it. When the game kicked off and stuff, I'm thinking maybe we're taking a few minutes to gel here, and we just wasn't in the game apart from the last 15 minutes. And then what happened, as it was still 2-0 to West Ham, we ended up attack, and the guy who shouldn't have even been on the pitch in the first place, as much as I love this player, we shouldn't have even risked him, because the last thing that we needed was for him to get injured. We rang on Alexis Sanchez. Bear in mind, he's only had about a 3-week break, if that. We brought him on. We actually looked brighter with him on, obviously. And we had a few good chances from Sanchez, Ozil laying him off. Good save from Adrian. And 5 minutes at a time, we still couldn't get the ball in the bloody net. And yeah, that was pretty much it. The final whistle went, and West Ham won the game 2-0. Now, let me just also say, I know this hasn't been the best analysis. It's probably been more of a rage type video. But what do you expect? I mean, I'm an Arsenal fan. I didn't want to miss 3 months of football just to come back to same old Arsenal, and that's what it's pretty much been. So, I think to analyse what I think once again, why I think anyone saying we can win the title, that pretty much proves it. The major positives I can take from this is, one, it's only the first game of the season, so there's plenty of time to improve, and the transfer window is still open, so there's still time to strengthen our squad, which I think we need to do. I can't stress that enough. I think Wenger just needs to stop fanning about and just buy Benzema, break the bank. I don't care. I know it's unrealistic. I don't think it could happen, but I didn't think Ozil could happen. And thinking about it, this situation has almost Ozil written all over it. We never ruled out signing Ozil. Real Madrid said they're not selling Ozil. And then we ended up losing our first game to Aston Villa 2 years ago before we got Mesut Ozil. And then it was on deadline day, on the same day as the North London derby, where we won the North London derby. Everyone was going, oh, we haven't signed anyone, blah, blah, blah. And then we just came out of nowhere and signed Mesut Ozil. If it might have been a day, but it might have been the day after the North London derby that happened, actually. A day after that, we signed Mesut Ozil. And it was just circumstance with the whole Bale and Ozil thing, and that's how that came about. But, I don't know, guys, I think we just need to break the bank for Benzema. I do think we also need a defensive midfielder. I think if we go for Benzema, I can't see us signing anyone else after that. I think Wenger will go, nope, that's enough money spent, and that's it. But I just think we just do. We need to sign a defensive midfielder, because Coquelin cannot do it all on his own. Arteta, I still can't see him being up for it. So, but majorly, I do think a couple of the chances also that Giroud had this game, I would have thought Benzema would have probably got that in, or another world-class striker, not just Benzema. Giroud just had chances and just couldn't get them in the back of the net. And it was frustrating because he had a really frustrating game. And in terms of Petr Cech, that most likely might be the worst game he might ever have for Arsenal. It probably won't be, but it could be. So that's, if you look at it that way, I don't know if that's probably the wrong way, a completely wrong way of looking at it. But, as I said, full credit to West Ham. They deserve it. Because they played us off. They didn't play us off the pitch necessarily. I mean, they had less shots than us, but they were in control of the game. They were confident going into this game, albeit they got knocked out of the Europa League, and it makes me feel like an absolute idiot. Because most of these games this week has kind of taught me I've missed the Premier League because there's been so many shocks this weekend. Well, not that many shocks. The biggest one obviously being Liverpool beating Stoke, but I'll get to that in my next video in a couple of days' time, reviewing all the games and seeing how close I was with all the predictions. And that's obviously going to be after the Man City game. So look, stay tuned for that, either tomorrow or the day after, depending on when I can make the video. So yeah, I think we need to sign Benzema. We need to, I say, or just any other world-class striker. There isn't many out there, though. And Madrid will sell at a good price. I don't care what anyone says. Every player has a price. We need to be aggressive with this transfer. We wasn't with Morgan Schneiderlin, even though we would never win after him in the first place. Or any other players. Man United were aggressive. They got what they want in terms of transfers. And so have so many other teams in the past. Manchester City were with Sterling, albeit so were Liverpool aggressive in demanding that 50 million, and they next to pretty much got that 50 million, albeit 49, but they still got it. So I just think if we don't sign a striker this summer, I think we could be in trouble. I can't see us, going out the top four, but I could see us in trouble. I can't see us challenging for the league. But the only way I could see us winning or challenging for the league is to at least get a striker. CDM we need is also pivotal, but if I had to pick between CDM and striker, I'd pick striker. So yeah, it's not been a good day, but I do think we will bounce back next week. It'll be a very tough game against Alan Pardew and Wenger, the old rivals, if anyone remembers from quite a few years ago back now. Palace looked good yesterday against Norwich, albeit it is against Norwich, but we've got Palace next week away, which we were lucky to win last year. So yeah, that should be an interesting game. Not really looking forward to that now, but yeah, I mean, West Ham looked good. We were just not at it today, but as bad as we were, as I said, West Ham was as good as we were bad, if that makes sense. And even when Sanchez came on, it still wasn't enough. West Ham were just a better team today, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I'll be back in a couple of days to review all of weekend's results, including this one. I just wanted to do this one now. And also, every week I will be reviewing every Arsenal game first before I review all of them, because this channel was called The True Gooner. So yeah, as I said, I have been The True Gooner. Put in the comments down below what you thought of the result, whether you're an Arsenal fan or not an Arsenal fan. Put it in the comments down below, obviously. Like the video if you enjoyed. If you disliked it, put in the comments down below why, so now I know how to improve. Subscribe if you haven't already. And peace.